Hi, I'm Sandy Ray, founder of Sandra E. Ray CPA, where we alleviate financial headaches so that you can create a bigger impact. Today, we're talking about making sense of the numbers by using financial dashboards for our organizations. You're probably asking, why do I keep talking about financial dashboards? Why are they so essential to our operations? It comes down to the old adage, what gets measured gets managed. It keeps your focus on what's important to your mission and it helps you track your success. There was a study by the Nonprofit Finance Fund that found organizations using comprehensive financial dashboards reported 35% better program outcomes and 40% improved donor retention. Today, I want to share with you some practical dashboard examples so that you can improve your transparency. We're going to try to automate as many of these as we possibly can, and you can make faster decisions and more informed decisions. So what is a financial dashboard? We're just going to go over it very quickly. It's a visual tool that helps you display key financial matters and metrics that are in place for your organization. We've talked about how to develop them, but I want to show you some really practical tips. These really help board members and staff, fundraisers, or funding sources quickly understand what our financial status looks like. So, some key elements of some nonprofit financial dashboards. I've got some examples here I want to show you. This first group is coming out of Excel. Honestly, it's just an Excel graph. I've got a template set up such that I download the information out of the accounting system, and then that pulls information into summary, and then that pulls information into my graphs. So here's some things that you might want to use. I'm going to share my screen, and I want to make sure you're seeing, yes, you should be seeing this graph. I love this graph. This graph is year-to-date net income. This would happen to be for 2024 with a 2024 budget and the 2023 actual. Now, the 2024 actual is the blue line right here. The 2024 budget is the green line, and 2023 actual is the yellow line. This is great because it shows this organization has a sort of cyclical type of information. This is an organization that does meetings. You can tell when the two big meetings are in the spring and in the fall. They have another meeting in the summer that's smaller. You can see that they tend to follow the same curve. But not only that, there is a really good visual here. We wanted to end up the year at break even. Year-to-date net income, we wanted to break even. We actually did better than we anticipated, but not quite as good as last year. So this is just, you can give this to your board in 10 seconds. They know where you're at. And the nice thing about this is as you can give that to them every month, and this chart fills in as the months go, so they can see, yes, we're on trend. Yeah, we might be a little low, or yeah, look, we're really high. We're going to dip down. And then when we get to this point where we cross the budget line item, it just is a really great visual. Another great visual is year-to-date income. Same thing. The orange is the budget. The blue is the 2024 actual. The green is the 2023 actual. You can see where the majority of their income comes from. This organization has meetings and they have members. And then, of course, they have some investments. So you see meetings is a big chunk. This organization had some struggles during COVID because of the concentration of meeting income. So obviously, these are some quick things if you wanted to talk to this organization about diversifying income sources, this would be a great chart to show. And it's also a great chart to watch over time. Here's another one. It just breaks out spending, and this is by department or by program. And I've used the same information for this organization, the meeting organization, showing it as a bar chart where you compare last year, actual this year, and budget. But I also created, and I just made up some numbers, spending by program or department. Here's the educational spending. Here's our outreach spending. Here's our advocacy, our management in general, and our fundraising. So you can look, these three departments right here all relate to programs. So you can quickly see how much spending is going on with program versus overhead, if that's the kind of thing that you're wanting to track. Here's another one. I pulled this from the QuickBooks Online sample company. This is the basic dashboard that they have already. You can pull these into the dashboard that you're dealing with for your clients. You can also design this for your board of directors or whoever your audience is. Here's cash flow trends, money in, money out, invoicing. What's our receivables? What are we doing for invoicing? Here's breakdown of our expenses. Here's our profit and loss. You can customize this if you want, and that is really helpful. Some other dashboards that I got offline incorporate not only financial information, but some programmatic information as well. So this was a community health clinic. Average time to process claims. What is your cash flow going to look like? How do we decrease? What are we doing to decrease that time? Our operating margin, claims processed, the denial rate. If they want to increase their cash flow, they need to decrease their denial rate on the claims. Cost per medical visit. What does it cost to serve one person? Days in accounts receivable, another trying to reduce that time from the time we invoice until the time we receive the cash. Monitoring, that's critical for our cash flow. Operating surplus or deficit, looking at the bottom line, where the green line is the net income. The blue is the income, the red is the expenses, and then the green is the net. They're also tracking things like months of liquid unrestricted net assets, looking at what is their goal, which is this line up here, versus the number of months in the quarter where they had liquid unrestricted net assets. Cash flow from operations, again, this is the goal. This is reality, helping us plan. Long-term debt to net assets. What is going on with our long-term debt? How much do we have? That kind of thing. And in different quarters. So it looks like they paid off their debt and then they went ahead and got some more. Here's another one I got. It's an early childhood education center. Again, they're very interested in what is their net, their income versus their expenses and their net. They're very interested in how does their revenue break down by program. Obviously, full-time enrollments is important to an early childhood program and part-time enrollments. So those are things that they are tracking on a financial basis. And then finally, we got an example here from a homeownership organization, and this is financial performance. So they're looking at their lending profitability, again, tracking net income. Realty profitability, this is just one section of their operation. Again, cost per customer and some more cost per customer, but even more breakdown than there was before, comparing different years, 3 years in a row here, but even more detailed than what the graph shows. So those are some examples of things that you can do very simply. Most of those can be done in Excel or with your accounting program that you already have. Other things that you might want to track is restricted versus unrestricted funds, grant utilization over time, breakdown of spending by program we talked about. You know, there's just all kinds of data that you can graph. And you don't have to go to these expensive places. Use what you already have. Your accounting system may have it. I'm sure you have Excel. There's some easy ways to do that. So I would hope that you would put together some dashboards using these examples and start simple. Start with a few things. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Some of them you may want to share with your board is in your presentation of your monthly financials to the board of directors. Some maybe you're just using internally with your management team those may be a little bit more detailed so that you can track your progress as it relates to mission and those kinds of things. But you can build those up over time. Pick one or two, maybe three, and get those in place and use them for a while. Decide if that's working for you or not. Do you need to make any edits? And then maybe add another one in 6 months to a year. And then just keep doing that. Don't have too many. You don't want to get lost in a ton of graphs and charts that otherwise that kind of defeats the purpose. So maybe some fall off as new ones come on. So I hope this was helpful for you today. If you have any questions on this or other topics that you'd like us to cover, please let us know in the comment section below. And of course, we always appreciate your likes. Thank you for joining me today.